Quinn Miners, now one of the best guards in the NFL, was once a guy nobody paid attention to. A few years ago, he didn't even have a Division I offer. No scholarship, no invitations, nothing. Quinn himself wondered,
"Why doesn't anyone want me?"
To understand the story, we have to go back to Hartford, Wisconsin. Back then, Quinn wasn't even a starter at his school. Then he came up with a somewhat crazy plan. Drink a full gallon of milk every week, chug protein shakes non-stop, and put on 80 pounds in just 1 year. That's when the nickname, the Gut, was born. By his senior year, Quinn had become All-State at 2 positions. So he thought it was time to move up to Division I. But life doesn't always go the way you expect. No Division I team called. Only a few small Division II and III schools showed interest. He had exactly one scholarship, from St. Cloud State, but the tuition was even more expensive than some of the small schools in Wisconsin. In the end, his most realistic choices were Whitewater or La Crosse. Quinn chose Whitewater, the school with the strongest football program. And when he accepted the offer, even the coach was surprised. "You're really choosing us?" The moment Quinn set foot in Whitewater, he made an immediate impact. He won the team's MVP award even though he played guard, a position that rarely gets that kind of spotlight. But at the same time, his legendary belly kept expanding. And, well, you can probably guess the diet of a Division III athlete. Tight budget, main meals at Golden Corral, late-night eats from Domino's. Not exactly ideal for someone trying to stay in shape. So when the off-season came, Quinn was determined to trim down the gut. He flew to his uncle's island in Canada to work a summer job. There wasn't a single weight on the island. So he brought his own gear and improvised all kinds of equipment, from makeshift barbells to a 100-pound propane tank for deadlifts. He set up a rough training rack in the middle of the island, the only flat spot he could find. Those workouts made Quinn realize one thing. He genuinely had more drive than anyone else. To motivate his teammates, Quinn recorded his workouts, posted them online, and declared that Quinn Miners 2.0 had arrived. He was faster, stronger, and ready for his final college season. But then the shock hit. Division II and III canceled their entire seasons. When Quinn heard that the season was canceled, it felt like a punch straight to the gut. For a Division III player, losing your senior season is almost the same as losing your NFL dream. He had spent more than a year training to explode in his final season, and now, no one would get to see his upgraded version. All the scouts had were old clips from his junior year, the footage of pre-upgrade Quinn Miners. But Quinn didn't give up. If he couldn't play, he focused on what he could control, becoming the most complete player possible. He decided to learn a new position, center. And he taught himself, right in his dad's backyard. He set up a trash can, attached a pizza peel to it, and practiced snapping the ball into that flat target. If it hit, success. If it missed, he reviewed the videos he recorded, analyzed his own mistakes, and fixed them, bit by bit. But training alone wasn't enough. Quinn flew to Texas and spent 3 weeks training with renowned offensive line coach Duke Manyweather. Duke corrected every detail, even changing Quinn's stance. The training clips were sent to Jim Nagy, the director of the Senior Bowl. He took notice, but only placed Quinn on the alternate list. Time passed, and Quinn kept grinding every single day. But the clock was ticking, and his chances seemed to slip further away. With only 2 weeks left, he had almost lost hope. "I'm definitely not getting into the Senior Bowl," he thought. But fate works in its own way. During the SEC championship game, Alabama center, Landon Dickerson, tore his ACL. Immediately, Quinn's phone rang. Jim Nagy was calling. "Do you want to join the Warhawk team?" That one question brought Quinn to tears. It was the result of more than 13 months of relentless work, without a senior season to prove himself. When he walked into the locker room and put on his helmet and shoulder pads, he felt the difference right away. A surge of confidence washed over him. "I'm going to dominate." On the field, his performance turned heads. Not only did he play guard, but he also lined up at center for the first time at the Senior Bowl, executing snaps he had never attempted before. Twitter exploded with "the gut," pushing Quinn from Division III obscurity straight into NFL draft stardom. Next came Pro Day, when all 32 teams came to Whitewater. Quinn finished top 5 in every test, leaving no doubt. He was one of the best guards in the entire draft. Draft day arrived. Quinn felt confident he would go in the mid to late second round, but teams kept picking other players. The anxiety, pressure, and feeling of being overlooked slowly turned into fuel. He wanted to prove everyone wrong. Finally, in the third round, pick 98, his phone rang. "Quinn, welcome to the Denver Broncos." Joy washed over him, but the reality of the NFL was far from easy. Jumping from Division III to the NFL was a massive shock. It wasn't just the speed and strength of the opponents, it was also the enormous playbook. During his rookie season, Quinn barely saw the field. It wasn't until Week 9, when Graham Glasgow got injured, that he finally had a chance to show what he could do. He didn't disappoint, but he still knew he had a lot to learn. In 2022, Quinn returned leaner and earned the starting job at right guard. However, in the very first game he suffered a hamstring injury and missed 4 weeks. When he came back in Week 5, everything changed. Quinn allowed virtually no sacks in 479 snaps. The Broncos finished only 5-12, but Quinn's performances were starting to get noticed. Quinn's third season was truly the turning point. Fully healthy, he played all 17 games and was graded by PFF as the best run-blocking guard in the entire NFL. Some analysts even called him the Broncos' offensive MVP. The team knew they had found a gem. Soon after, Quinn signed a long-term contract, 4 years, $80 million, with $45 million guaranteed and $24 million paid in the first year. It was a beautiful moment, but Quinn always credits the people who helped him get there. His wife, who believed in him even more than he did himself, his father, who constantly brought him lean cuts of meat so he could get enough protein, and his agent, who never stopped pushing him forward. By 2024, Quinn was no longer the Division III underdog story. He had become one of the highest-paid guards in the league and was voted team captain for the first time. The pressure and expectations were heavy, but he learned to manage them with the help of a mental performance coach. Gradually, Quinn overcame the psychological hurdles, and the best season of his career arrived. He became an absolute machine in the run game and allowed just 1 sack all season. At the end of the season, Quinn Miners finally received the recognition he deserved. From the gut kid at Wisconsin Whitewater with no scholarship, he had become a first-team All-Pro, an achievement that changes a life and builds generational wealth. What's surprising is that it all began with those years of self-teaching and backyard training, from learning to play center during the COVID season just to earn a shot at the Senior Bowl. Looking back, Quinn admits that if someone had told him in 2020 that he would one day stand where he is now, he never would have believed it. But by living with the mindset that hard work pays off, everything became reality. Quinn's story proves that it doesn't matter where you start. What matters is your willingness to sacrifice, persist, and outwork everyone else. From an unknown Division III kid, teaching himself new skills, overcoming injuries, pressure, and doubt, to becoming one of the best guards in the NFL, Quinn has shown that dreams are never too far if you're truly determined. If you enjoy stories like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Have an awesome day.